Hello guys, it's Diamond Simmer and this is another speed build called Pendragon Castle, and this is part 1. So I decided to do a castle because it's something which I haven't attempted yet, and I just thought it'd be quite an interesting thing for you guys, and I hope you enjoy this. And the style which I was going for on this build particularly was a medieval castle, just because I think that portrays a castle more than anything else really. So to begin with, as you can see on the video, I started using I just started building the basic outline of it. As you can see, I'm using the typical towers with no roofs and stuff for this build, because otherwise I don't think it would fit into this medieval kind of style which I was hoping for. So let me tell you a bit about the build. This build is based on supernatural sims, because obviously the sims like witches, werewolves, zombies, and just all of them, typically because it's a castle, and I just think supernatural fits that. So apologies on the video, it's just paused, but yeah, so speaking of supernatural, excuse me, in this build I have used a lot of content from the Supernatural expansion pack, so I recommend that you don't download this if you haven't got Supernatural, purely because the replacements that it would make with like the proxies and stuff wouldn't really kind of work, because you really need Supernatural to portray that kind of sense of a castle, and without it I don't think you can really achieve that. So yeah. So this build is obviously different to all of my other builds, because obviously they're ranches and stuff, and just wanted to do something different for you guys, and I just hope you enjoyed this. This build was probably the longest build which I have ever done, like literally ever done, because of how long it took. This build took to complete about 18 hours, which is practically double of my previous speed build of the ranch. So yeah, so that's why I've had to split it into 2 parts, but don't worry, because as you already probably know, the 2 sections are uploaded on this. I will upload the 2 sections on the same day, so well, close together, so then you can move straight on to it after. So as you can see on the video, the shape of it is kind of coming together, and I just wanted to go with this tower style. So there's a lot of, I think there's about 14 towers altogether, including the square ones. I know, which is a bit different, but there's obviously the curved ones. I think there's 10 of them, and then there's the square ones. There's about 4 of them, or 3, something like that. So on the video I began to use, oh don't worry, it's stopped now, but on the video I was using this roof, but I decided roofing wouldn't kind of portray that medieval style, so I didn't use roofing in the end, and I covered it, as you can see on the video, with this medieval kind of masonry kind of style. It was a beigey colour, and I just think that portrays the medieval castle better than typical grey stones or something. And to portray that even more, I used dark paned windows, as you can see, just to kind of create that contrast of dark and light. As you all know, that's like how I like to build my lots, with the contrast of dark and light. So yeah, I think a lot of these windows make the towers stand out a lot more than if they were different, because of obviously how dark they are. And this beigey masonry, as you can see, which I'm just doing the top of the towers with, I covered that with the whole castle. And yeah, so on the castle you can typically see the size of it. This build was built on a 64 by 64 lot in Hidden Springs. I think I had to demolish like the sports stadium or something, but yeah, so as you can see it takes up almost the whole width of that lot, so that gives you an idea of how large it is. And speaking of like how large it is, this lot has got 12 bedrooms, and I'm guessing around 4 or 5 bathrooms, as well as servants' quarters, which are kind of in the basement. So yeah, so on the video I'm just doing the main entrance, just sticking to this dark and light kind of style with the dark kind of railing and then the top kind of fencing. So just putting in this fencing for the top of the towers, which I think portrayed the style quite well. So I wanted to change the style of the entrance to a more kind of interesting than just the masonry, so I changed that up a little bit. I think it's like a stone kind of style or something, so it still follows the same kind of pattern, but just wanted to make that bit kind of stand out against the rest of the castle. Just a little bit though. So just filling in some more windows. There's a lot, as you can tell, it's got a lot of windows. So yeah, but the problem, even though there's so much windows, there isn't a lot of light on the inside, so I've had to use a lot of just typical lights, because those windows don't, as you can probably tell, they're quite small, so they didn't portray that light. And you'll see that in a moment when we move on to the inside. Just filling in some more of the windows. I was kind of going with this jumbled style, not like straight symmetrical kind of lines. It's more jumbled, so it looks more old from the outside. From the outside it is old, and then from the inside it's a lot more grand, so you probably wouldn't expect that. It's kind of like a manor house and a castle kind of combined, so yeah, so just putting this same fencing around the other towers, and as you can see there are two large towers at the end. And there is something different on the inside, but you'll find out about that in part 2. So to make the tower stand out a bit more, I used a wall covering which was exactly the same as what I've got it now, but I used a darker shade of it just to kind of give that sense of shadow, just to make them stand out, because I thought that it looked a bit more, it looks a bit flat without them. So I just went with that, and yeah. Apologies if I sound strange, it's just because recovering from a cold, but I'm getting better, but my voice is still not exactly the same. But yeah. So again, just finishing off using this darker wall covering to make the towers stand out more, and I just think that that's achieved it. So as you can see, these are the towers. They haven't got any rooms in apart from 2 of them, which again you'll find out more about in part 2. So just putting some flags. And this is the inside. So the main entrance, as you can see, the doorway leads off from a grand staircase. So I wanted to keep with that grand kind of manor house style, but instead it's in a castle. So as you can see, lighting is a real issue in this build, so I end up putting some more windows, as you'll see now, just at the back. Some large windows, and I have to make them that darker kind of scheme as well. So the castle itself is separated into 3 different sections. So we've got the main kind of hall, which is where the grand staircase leads off to, and then to the right of that there's another area, and then to the left of the grand hall there is another area. So you'll see that as the castle kind of develops. So I decided to go with this kind of dual aspect kind of style. So it's over 2 stories. This castle is built over 2 stories, and there's no separation, so it's almost like to make the walls kind of seem taller than they are. But yeah, so it is played on, so I recommend, if I can speak properly, that you play this with both of the 2 stories up, like the walls up, so then you'll get a real kind of sense of how I built it and how I wanted to portray it. So I needed to use some really large lights, as you can see, just to get a bit more lighting in. And these did portray that, so yeah. As you can see, this is where it separates into 3 different parts. But I thought just having that wall there kind of didn't give that sense of privacy, so I decided to kind of give that sense of privacy but in a different way. So it's still separated, but it still kind of flows together, which is what I was trying to go for. So this is the style which I use. So on the bottom, like, floor, there is freestanding arches, just in a, and I think I changed the colour of them to a dark kind of colour. I was experimenting with pillars, as you can see, but I didn't really like that, so I got rid of them and just used the arches on their own. Above the arches I used this wall, but instead of just being a wall, I put windows through the middle. I know that sounds really strange, but just to give that more sense of light, okay? It may look weird now, but honestly, the final result looks really good with this kind of style. But obviously, if you don't like it, you can always change it. It's your ideas. It doesn't really, like, involve me. It's just how I build it. So I did the same on the other side, with the arches at the bottom and the windows going through the top kind of floor. So here, just putting some more lighting in, and I think in a moment I start building this room, I think at the back. I think it's a study and there's a bathroom at the back of this area. Obviously putting some plants in because I think every lot looks better with a bit of plants and stuff, so yeah. So I wanted to go with this Gothic kind of style, so that's why I said it's more suited to Supernatural Sims, because it's more of the Gothic kind of vampire style. And also if you have late night only, then you can still have the vampire style, because there's vampires in that. So yeah, apologies if you can pick up some background noise. Yes, again, I'm using my camera's microphone, so apologies if it doesn't sound very good, but I'm really trying to get a new microphone, but I haven't got one yet, so just bear with me on that. So there is a lot of seating areas in the castle, as you can see in this kind of main entrance, main hall area. That was just me using a blueprint just to see what the Gothic kind of style looks like. A lot of seating area just to fill in the space, obviously, because there's a lot of space in this castle, and yeah, so just decided to put some more lighting in and some arches. So this room at the end is a study. Yeah, so it's a study, and I decided to put it over the two kind of floors, so it's like a dual aspect style like the rest of the build. So there's a ladder going up, so it's almost like a two-story kind of bookcase, but it's not. There was one from Into the Future, but I didn't use that. I decided to use these rustic kind of bookcases. I think they're from the Sims base game, but I'm not sure. And obviously the entertainment things like the easels and all of that good stuff. So to the right of the study, I think I put a bathroom in. Yep, I put a bathroom in, just a little bathroom. Every bathroom in this lot has got a bathtub in. Well, not including the one in the servants' quarters, but you'll see that in part 2. I don't think, anyway, but yeah, so obviously to stick with that same style, the door for the bathroom, as you can see, is that dark kind of stone kind of outline similar to the front main entrance. So just making the arches darker, just to stick to that dark and light kind of contrast, which I like, as you probably already know now. And just putting them in. I think they're just freestanding. I haven't put a wall covering in. That's because I use the move objects on sheet. But don't worry, it is fully, your Sims can go through them and in through them, whatever. They won't stop and be all annoying and stuff. But yeah, so I wanted to go with the tiles, because I think that gives that sense of grandness, but still that kind of sense of rustic as well. But yeah, so I don't know what I'm doing here, just checking the view. Then this is the grand kind of dining area with the Gothic chairs as well. I just thought that looked cool, and typically I think I put like 4 large tables together, and yeah, so just putting some more of these white kind of rugs, and obviously there's a grand piano, so it's more of like an entertainment area as well. So this is the second part. These are bedrooms. Originally they were single bedrooms, as you'll see, but I do change them later on. So again, sticking to that style of the windows above the arches, I wanted to stick to that, and above these rooms I put this balcony kind of galleried area, so then your Sims can look down onto what will be the dance floor, kind of ballroom thing. So yeah, I just thought, and then put some seating area, and this is obviously the bedrooms now, and this I think is another bedroom, I'm not too sure, but I think it is. But yeah, so obviously windows going through the top, and yeah, so putting some more lighting in, because obviously lighting, it still needs everything to be a lot lighter. And I will move on, just putting some decor with some picture frames. I think a lot of these picture frames are from Supernatural, so again, a lot of Supernatural content, as I was saying. And putting them on both floors just because I think that looks more presentable. And some roof covering, or roof tiling, which is something which I haven't really done before, so I just thought that I'll add on to that grand kind of manor house style inside. So these are the bedrooms. There's a little hallway in the middle just for like decoration, and seating area again. And just putting some windows, obviously, because light is an issue. But I do kind of sort that out in the next part. But yeah, so some more Gothic kind of styled bedrooms. Single bedrooms, but I do later on change them to double because there's enough room. I don't know why I did them as single. So this originally was going to be that just separation, but then I kind of put it together and put some arches at the front so your Sims can go sit on that kind of galleried balcony area. And again, it's that galleried so that you can see down into the bedrooms, which is a key kind of theme in this castle. But obviously if you don't like that, you can always change it. Again, sticking with the tiles, just to portray that sense of kind of grandness, basically. Put some rugs and stuff, and I think that is like a passage, secret passage or something, with the bookcase kind of covering the door, so that's quite interesting, so you can put something in there. So yeah, some more picture frames, and yeah, just going through the centre of it, and some more lighting, and just filling in the tops of the towers which haven't got rooms, so, and some more roof covering, and yeah, some plants, obviously, because as I said, plants look a lot better in every single lot, I think. So plants are a key thing. And I'm not sure what I did there, but I think it's like a little seating area as well. I put some more lights and seating area, as I said, some more plants and stuff, again just to keep to that kind of style. So this is one of the master bedrooms, and it was very large as opposed to those other two, and again it's kind of sticking to that Gothic style, which I thought kind of fitted. So yeah, and this is another master bedroom as well. And the good thing about this master bedroom is that above it, it's kind of got a galleried ensuite. So there's a twisted staircase which goes up to the top. As you can see where the tiles are, that's where the bathroom is. And yeah, so as I'm just finishing off this, I just want to say thank you for watching, and hope you enjoy the next part. And yeah, so again, thank you for supporting my channel, and just comment, like, subscribe, whatever, and just hope you enjoy this. So yeah, so just putting some more arches in to finish this off. I think they're arches. I do put arches in a minute. So it's almost finished, and just some arches at the end, and then finishing that off. So yeah, thank you again, and just I love the support you give me, and just continue what you're doing, and yeah, so bye.